Our health needs change with every passing decade, but the good news is it's never too late to take better care of yourself. Who is ready for a midlife makeover? Welcome to Boom 50 Fitness. My name's Regan, and this is your channel for all things health and fitness in your 50s and beyond. Whether you're in your 40s, 50s, 60s, or beyond, a little midlife tune-up can put you on a healthier path to improving your health, your mind, even your relationships. You're only as young as you feel, but this little midlife tune-up will help you feel younger at heart. Let's start with healthy eating. Healthy eating is not the only way to improve your overall health, but it's usually the place where most people start. As you start to tune up your eating habits, try not to think of it as a diet or trying to lose weight. Instead, make a promise to yourself that you're going to focus on healthy eating so that you will feel better that day and all the days ahead. If you do that, I promise you, you will feel better, you'll have more energy, and maybe you'll even lose a little weight if that's what you're looking to do. One of the things we can do for this healthy eating tune-up is to ditch processed foods. I know processed foods can be super convenient, and chances are you ate more processed foods when your kids were younger, but maybe you're an empty nester now, maybe you live alone. There's no reason to be eating those packaged foods when you can take the time to make healthy meals. And here's some easy tips to help you eliminate those packaged foods. Okay, number one, try to only buy single ingredient foods, or at least most of the foods in your cart should be single item foods like fruits and veggies and nuts. I know it's almost impossible to only buy single ingredient foods, but some of the foods that you want to try to eliminate that have multiple ingredients would be cookies and crackers and frozen dinners. Not only do these foods have multiple ingredients, but they also have additives and usually sugar. Cooking at home does not have to be complicated. Try to keep it simple. Okay, number two, don't be fooled by what labels claim to be healthy foods. For example, some granola bars, sports drinks, veggie chips, These all tend to be loaded with extra sugar, preservatives, food coloring, all that stuff your body just doesn't need. Instead, for a snack, go for some nuts and a piece of fruit. And number three, try to find some homemade alternatives. For example, if you love cereal out of a box, why not try some steel-cut oats with some fruit and berries? Or if you love French fries, try slicing up a sweet potato and sticking it in the oven. Delicious. Number four, skip the sugar. The nutrition community has spent the last few decades talking about the perils of fatty foods and consuming too many calories. But more recent research is all saying that it's really sugar that's what's causing more of the health problems. Not only is there evidence that sugar can make you gain weight, but your body also metabolizes sugar differently than other foods. Sugar plays a role in insulin resistance, which can lead to diabetes, heart disease, and a number of other problems. When the body can't manage the amount of sugar in the blood, what happens is it will start to damage the artery walls. And that unfortunately increases your risk of heart attack or stroke. And I am not saying you can't enjoy a sweet little bite of chocolate or an occasional dessert. In fact, I want you to savor every single bite of that sweet treat that you're having. But the best advice I can give you is eat that sweet treat mindfully. And use this little midlife tune-up as the best excuse to just scale back on some of those added sugars. All right, let's talk about nuts. One of the simplest ways to help keep you from eating processed foods like crackers and chips is to keep nuts on hand. And you don't need a whole lot of nuts for a little afternoon pick-me-up. The two nuts that I always have on hand are unsalted almonds and walnuts. And why are nuts so good for you? Well, listen up. Nuts have been shown to lower the risk of heart disease as well as diabetes. A review of nearly 24 studies of nuts and health found that people who ate on average about 1 ounce of nuts a day, that's about 24 almonds, had lower risk for heart disease, cancer, respiratory disease, diabetes, and infectious diseases compared with those who rarely ate nuts. We also know they contain healthy unsaturated fats, omega-3s, vitamin E, fiber, and a few other really good things for you. I love to talk about nuts, but let's now talk about veggies. I talk about this all the time on Instagram, but in midlife, it is not the time for restricted diets. And veggies are one of those foods that you should never, ever give up. And why do I push veggies so much? Well, we know they are so good for you, but also it will push the unhealthy things away from your diet more if you fill up on the vegetables and the fruits. All right, so we are changing our eating habits, and now let's move on to movement. It is never too late to reap the rewards of exercise. Whether you're already fit or you've just decided to become fit in midlife, you will decrease the chances of chronic diseases and give you more years of good health. Did you know that most older adults in Western countries don't work out at all? In fact, 1 out of 4 adults in the United States is completely sedentary. What does sedentary mean? It just means the only movement you get is for essential daily activities. While exercise in midlife requires a little bit more care in planning, it doesn't have to be extremely hard and difficult. My favorite saying now that I'm over 50 is work smarter, not harder. The great news is research now shows that a middle-aged body should not be doing long bouts of cardio. So you can shorten your workouts and they don't have to be as intense. One of my favorite ways to work out is a HIIT style workout. HIIT, H-I-I-T, stands for high intensity interval training. It might sound scary, but it's so effective and you can always scale back if you need to. But one thing you need to make sure of is that your intervals include some strength training. That way you'll get the strength training and also the cardiovascular training. This is a great way to work out at any age, but in midlife, it's a great way because you can have a shorter period of time that you work out, but you're gonna get your cardiovascular exercise as well as your strength training in. I will go into greater detail on a HIIT style workout and even a LIT style workout, that would be low intensity interval training, on a later date, and I'll actually make a video for you guys so that you can follow along with my workout. The other thing that you need to be doing every day is moving a lot, going out for a walk, and making sure to always get in a good stretch. One thing that is really important in midlife is to allow yourself the recovery time that you need. So often when we think about health, we focus on nutrition and exercise, but it's time to really focus on your inner fitness as well. A huge body of research now suggests that meditation, a mindfulness practice, sleep improvements, and stress reduction can actually slow down the aging process. Okay, here's a great study for you. Research suggests that the brains of longtime meditators are less affected by aging than the brains of people who don't meditate. Some studies indicate that meditation may have a positive effect on telomeres. Those are the structures at the end of chromosomes that influence aging. Research also shows that meditation can reduce markers of inflammation and reduce stress and cortisol levels. While more study is needed to fully understand the effects, it's clear that meditation is good for you and good for your health. So I want to know if you meditate. Leave me a comment down below. Okay, if you're still not sold on meditation, think of it this way. If you want bigger biceps, you need to lift heavier weights to build the muscle. But you also need those rest days and those recovery days to help rebuild the muscle. So think of your brain like a muscle. It needs those recovery days to rebuild and rejuvenate so that it feels better. And that's what meditation can do for you. And if you're wondering if I meditate, yes, I do, and I absolutely love it. I like to do a guided meditation, so I use the Headspace app. I will link Headspace in my description down below, but I will do a guided meditation before I get out of bed for about 5 minutes, and then I also do one right before I go to sleep. And I'm telling you guys, it is a game changer. With this whole midlife makeover, maybe it's time for a little sleep tune-up. A good night's sleep can solve a lot of life's little problems, but most people do not get enough sleep. Genetics plays a huge role in how much sleep we need, but on average, most people need 7.5 to 8.5 hours of sleep per night. If you want to know what the perfect amount for you is, try this little test. On the days that you don't need to use an alarm clock, go to bed at the same time and wake up naturally and see how many hours you needed. My magic number is 8 hours and 15 minutes. That is when I feel the most alert. It's the easiest for me to wake up. If I get less than that, I'm usually a little groggy. If I get more than that, I'm usually a little groggy. So you've got a magic number too. You just need to find it and you need to stick to it. You gotta start going to bed at the same time every night and waking up at the same time every morning. For so many years, I thought I was just genetically blessed and I was that person that didn't require a lot of sleep. But after doing my own sleep makeover, that's when I realized how much sleep I needed to get to work the most effectively and efficiently the next day. One thing you want to do every night is to practice good sleep habits. I have talked about this so much throughout the years, but I will link a video somewhere about 10 ways for a great night's sleep. And the last thing I want to talk about today is building resilience. Midlife can bring along with it so many stressors, including divorce, the death of a parent, job setbacks, retirement worries, being an empty nester. The list can go on. And so many people don't build the coping skills to deal with these kind of stressors. The good news is that some of the qualities as we age help us deal with those stressors, like just being able to manage our emotions in a different way. One of the simplest ways to help build resilience is to focus on optimism. And no, optimism does not mean ignoring problems. It means facing challenges in a more hopeful way. An empty nest or a death or a divorce can be lonely, but it can also be an opportunity to try new things. Just like a job loss is difficult, an optimist will seize that opportunity to rethink their life goals. And one of the best ways to shed the negative thoughts is to surround yourself with positive people. And remember all your comebacks. You've been faced with hard times in the past. Remind yourself of those challenges and how you overcame them. And another simple way to boost resilience is to help others. Part of resilience is taking responsibility for your life and for creating a life that you find purposeful and meaningful. It doesn't have to be some huge mission, it just needs to be something that's meaningful to you, however big or small that may be. And another way to build resiliency is to just take stress breaks. And my favorite way to build resiliency is to find your discomfort zone. And that means getting out of your comfort zone. Do something you've never done before. If you want it to be physical, try whitewater rafting or rock climbing, or maybe you want to try something creative like a pottery class or a cake decorating class. Whatever it is, just get out of your comfort zone and dive in. And this is such a great way to build resiliency. Okay, I'm gonna add one more thing to our midlife makeover. Disconnect to reconnect. Most of you out there know that I am on social media, and if you don't follow me on Instagram, I would love to see you over there too. But what I started in the new year is disconnecting whenever I can. No, I did not give up social media altogether. In fact, I love getting on social media and seeing your comments, and I love posting something that I think is helpful. But when I am on social media, I give myself a small window of about 5 to 10 minutes where I can catch up with people, and then I turn it off. And we all know social media is a great way to connect with people, but instead, some of those people I've reconnected with, I now shoot them a text or I give them a call on the phone. One thing you will definitely notice when you disconnect to reconnect is how often other people are on their phones. It's staggering. I do use my phone as soon as I wake up because, like I said earlier, I use the Headspace app on my phone for my morning meditation. But after that meditation, I put that phone away and I don't get back on it for about an hour until I start seeing clients. And at night, I am off my laptop and off my phone by 7:30 at night. Try it, you'll love it. Anyway, I hope you found this video super helpful. If you liked it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Leave me a comment down below. If you haven't already, please subscribe to this channel. My name's Regan. This is Boom 50 Fitness, your new BFF.